Hey, welcome back to Global Environment. On today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about ecological engineering. What is it? Some applications of it. And we're going to start with a basic intro. So what is ecological engineering? Well, ecological engineering, a good definition for it is the designing of ecosystems and human society for the benefit of both. So that's your basic definition. And as we progress through this lesson, you'll see some concrete examples, so don't get tied up on that. So ecological engineering has been around for a very long time, but it was kind of formalized as a discipline by H.T. Odum, who you've heard about before when we talked about systems. So when we look at this, H.T. Odum, environmental manipulation by humans using small amounts of supplementary energy. That's really important. A lot of the energy comes from solar, which separates it from fossil fuel driven standard engineering principles. And then we keep going. It says to control systems which the main energy drivers are still coming from natural sources. Another important aspect of this is these natural systems are self-designed. Okay, so here are some examples, some applications of how you can use ecosystems to benefit human society. So if we look at the PowerPoint here, one, it says ecosystems are used to reduce or solve a pollution problem that otherwise would be harmful to other ecosystems. An example of this is you can clean up wastewater by spraying it on different ecosystems like wetlands. So that's one concrete example of this. Using recycled sludge is another. Two, ecosystems are imitated or copied to reduce or solve a resource problem. Mitigation wetlands, if we have to reproduce wetlands on a new site, related to no net loss. Also integrated fish ponds, and I'll give you an example of that later. Three, the recovery of an ecosystem is supported after significant disturbance. A concrete example of this is after you have strip mining for coal extraction, you might produce a new ecosystem over that disturbed area. So there's a concrete example of that. So four, existing ecosystems are modified in an ecologically sound way to solve an environmental problem. I really like this example, biomanipulation of fish. In some areas in Germany, they have attacked eutrophication problems in water systems by changing the ratio of species to fish. And you'll say, well, what does that do? Well, you might add more predatory fish, and then that reduces the number of smaller fish, so the levels of zooplankton go up, and those zooplankton eat the algae. So it's a very clever way of dealing with some problems using ecosystem management type ways of handling it. Okay, five, ecosystems are used for the benefit of humans without destroying the ecological balance. Sustainable agroecosystems, sound renewable resource harvesting. Some good examples of this are just forest management. So you have sustainable harvest of wood. You don't destroy your ecosystem in the long run. Okay, so synonyms or subsets of ecological engineering. Here are a number of examples. We talked about bioengineering, biomanipulation. All of these are related to or components of ecological engineering. So I'd say you should check that out in your spare time. Okay, ecological engineering. Odum first made this a bit famous when he treated sewage by spraying it on woodlands in Penn State and also cypress dorm swamps. And you can see here big energy savings when it comes to fossil fuels. Because this is driven by solar energy, you could have an energy cost of 3.3 versus 25.3 kilocalories per gallon of sewage treated. So that's a huge advantage. Okay, more advantages, like we said, low energy use, but you sometimes have to use a larger area, so that's a disadvantage. It's often effective at polishing some effluents, so toward the end of sewage treatment, it's very effective. Also, you can help with wildlife protection, and I'll give you some good examples of that later. And as we said, there's some problems because when it comes to conventional energy, intensive treatment is favored. That's what most engineers are used to, have been trained in, and this is kind of a different direction. And also there are potential climate problems as well. Using wetlands in the northeast where I am can sometimes shut down in the wintertime. Okay, so ecological engineering is really combining some ideas from theoretical ecology and also applied ecology, and also some ideas from ecological economics. So it's really a morph of these different disciplines, and again, very applied. Okay, so a lot of people have heard of biotechnology. We're talking about ecotechnology. Now, how are they similar? How are they different? And if we look at this slide here, the basic unit of ecotechnology is an ecosystem. While in biotechnology it's a cell, we use ecology instead of genetics and cell biology. What controls this? With ecological engineering, the forcing functions like solar energy and also the organisms control what happens. In biotechnology, it's the genetic structure, the DNA. Design, it's self-designed. That is huge, though humans might modify that to some extent. Biotechnology is human designed. Biotic diversity is protected. Biotechnology is changed. Maintenance and development costs, reasonable versus enormous. And the energy basis is mainly solar versus fossil fuel based. Okay, so we're going to stop right there and get into more concrete examples with lots of pretty pictures, and then I'm going to give you later on a very pertinent case study in ecological engineering. So see you next time. Bye.